Yo Kings, this is Gabe from Motor Kings. We're gonna talk about the M6 S63TU build today. Also, as you probably saw, the text at the very beginning of the video, we are making a video every single day. If you subscribe, we'll either annoy you or you always get constant entertainment. So as many of you know from the last video, it took me a year to get my M6 back. Now, most of that reason is because I'm poor, but not for long. In that year, I had plenty of time to do all sorts of research on who could rebuild it, how much it cost, the quality of rebuild, depending on the shop, alternatives to rebuilding. I did a ton of research on what my actual problem was. And with all that time to do research that I had, I think I pretty much gained a pretty comprehensive knowledge about where to take this engine and honestly, any BMW engine. For those of you who are afraid of blowing their engine and want to be prepared, or people that have blown their engine and need to know the best place to go, I got you guys. Now, I'm gonna talk about my whole experience, getting there, getting it back, the communication, the different people I talked to over the year. For those of you who just care about like, give me the price, give me where you took it, give me the alternatives, we'll get that out of the way because I feel like you guys would appreciate me not stringing you along for 15 minutes. But for those of you who are interested, you can stay and get the whole story. Also, yes, I know it's dirty, okay? Jeez. I'll clean it, I will. So right as it blew, I basically researched, okay, what is the problem? Everyone I talked to from the videos that I sent people and other people who have had blown S63s, everyone was like, this is a spun rod bearing. That's the main problem that S63TUs have. And it basically just destroys the whole engine. You need a full rebuild. So there's no just like replacing something, which was a bummer because my initial research was like, well, I guess my initial research was taking it to the local BMW shop because we don't have a dealer around here. And they quoted me an OEM block and then basically dealership prices for putting it in, and that was $40,000 total. 30K for the long block, $10,000 just for the labor alone. And I was like, well, there's no way, because just to be transparent with you guys, I paid 50 for this, 50K, okay? 40K to fix the car? Bro, no, not worth it. But I looked online, found some rebuilt engines. Typically the rebuild cost alone is like 9K on average. And then you have to pay a 5K core charge a lot of places, which you'll get that back depending on like the damage your engine has. And then for them to remove it and put it back in, it's about another 5K. So you're looking anywhere from 20 to 25K, my first initial quotes. I'm not really doing it fast for those who asked. I'm kind of just going through my experience, but I got you, now you're staying longer. I'm gonna give you the list of people that you can take it to, okay? There is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5-ish. And then the secret sixth that nobody talks about that I took it to, okay? There's 5 places that everyone else takes it to in varying degrees of numbers. And then the place I took it to, which I've never heard anyone talk about, okay? Because if you take it to a regular rebuilder, again, they're gonna charge you 25K, 30K. If you take it to a BMW engine rebuilder that like isn't like cheap, yeah, it's gonna be like, you know, 20,000, okay? But the 5 main places you can take it to. Number 1, it's probably the most popular. When you Google S63TU engine or B58 engine, S58 engine, Gasson Automotive out of Oklahoma will be the main one that pops up, okay? And I got a quote from them, and they were about $19,000 because that comes with rebuilt engine, removal, installation, core charge. I think you get some of that back, so it might, at the end of the day, it might be $14,000, $15,000 to get everything done. Obviously, if you can take the engine out yourself, you save the labor cost, but this thing's a piece of freaking work. So Gasson is the one I was planning on taking it to, but $19,000 is a lot to come up with. Then I found 2 places in Texas. Okay, you got RK. I can't remember the rest of the name. RK is like one of the big ones. They also do like built engines, big turbos, all that kind of stuff. They charge around the same 15 to 20. I didn't really like their vibe because I knew a guy that had an M6 competition 1 of 100 that sent it there, got it built, got big turbos. The engine blew again afterwards. Now, again, that's not all the way like the rebuilder's fault. Of course, like if the dude didn't take care of it properly, then that's on him. But I didn't really like their vibe. I found another place called Pure Performance in Texas. Now, I think the guy who owns it, his name's TJ Obaid or Obeid or something like that. I think he's a good guy. But if you go on Yelp, if you go on Facebook, there's a ton of lawsuits against him. Weird stuff went down. I've gotten DMs from people, because I commented on his Instagram stuff, and I get DMs from people being like, yeah, don't take it there. My M8's stuck there. I don't know. I just didn't like anyone that had like weird stories about him. And Gasson, if you go on Yelp, has like the first one I talked about. If you go on Yelp, they have a bunch of like horror stories. So it's just like, bro, everyone's not that good. I have heard of a place in New Jersey called Project M Motors or something like that. And they were gonna rebuild. Now, the price for Pure Performance in Texas and the one in New Jersey was around 12K. And that was like the best I'd found, 12 to 13. And I was like, it's pretty freaking good. Out of the 5 places, Gasan offers a 2-year unlimited mile warranty. Okay. Pure Performance in Texas, I think he has a warranty. Maybe not. You're gonna have to go look at yourself. But Project M Motors out of New Jersey does offer a warranty. I think it's 1 year, 12,000 miles, or 1 year unlimited miles, something like that. And then RK Auto Tunes, I think, is a 1 or 2 year warranty. Most of them do warranty, but I just did not want to send my car across the country or be 20 hours away or 24 hours away. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that. So I really put a lot of work into finding someone, because I'm in Southern Utah, so it's near Vegas. I really put a lot of work into finding someone who was either in Utah or Vegas or California at least. So here's what you've been waiting for, okay? When it comes to the cost, you got those 5 main locations, or 4 main locations. There's one dude called Lang Development in California. I haven't really heard of him other than my own research either. He charged $25,000, so I was like, not gonna take it there. When I was getting close to being able to rebuild it, I was gonna go to Pure Performance in Texas. But then as I did more research, found a guy on eBay that had a rebuilt engine listed. So I'm like, maybe it is more popular than I think. I mean, he had plenty of engines there, but it was called, I mean, in English, it's Bavaria, but obviously in German, W's are V's, so it's Bavaria. Yes, my boy Kirk from Bavaria, German car specialist, okay? When I saw his stuff, I looked up Google reviews, I looked up Yelp reviews, I looked up eBay reviews. Everything was solid. It's like, okay, that's a good sign. Looked at his website, looks like it's a father and son shop, and he's been rebuilding BMW engines and doing BMW electronics for like 25 years. I was like, okay, that's sick. As I emailed him, it was obvious that he knew what he was talking about and that he was like super chill. So his initial quote for me, to take out the S63TU, rebuild it, put in ACL race rod bearings, so I don't have to deal with rod bearings ever again, and then install the engine, 10K. So I was like, bro, 10K, all right. So I talked with him a bunch over email. He was super chill, answered all my questions, gave me advice on how to make sure this doesn't happen again, et cetera, et cetera. My experience with actually doing it. I was gonna ship it, guys. And if any of you have any curiosity about shipping a car, it's actually pretty cheap. If you like are buying a car across the country, for some reason, like these dealerships quote you like 3K to ship a car. But if you go straight through the actual shipping companies, you'll get all these agents hitting you up and they'll charge anywhere from 300 to 600 bucks. For a car, at least this is like 6-hour drive, okay? From where I'm at to LA County was like 5.5 to 6 hour drive, or yeah, 5.5 to 6 hour drive. And so for that distance, it's like on average $450 to ship the car there. Now, I like that idea, it's cheap and I don't have to do anything. But I was like, bro, wouldn't it be way more sick, especially for the channel, to drive it there, meet the guy, feel comfortable handing it off, I'm the one unloading it, and then not have to worry about it once some big truck comes and picks it up. So I decided to rent a trailer off Facebook Marketplace, 60 bucks, not bad, and drive it out there myself. So me, Motor King's crew, and my dad went out there, and it is funny because a little bit more of a, I mean, I don't really know how to say this, but a little bit more of a ghetto area. And the dude was super chill. The son met me at the place. It was Sunday morning. At first I was like, okay, this guy looks super chill and young, but like, does he know what he's doing? Bro, let me tell you, they do, okay? They're actually from Bulgaria, I think it is. They're freaking sick. And you've seen the last video, and I'll put up some shots right now of like what their shop looked like. Dropped it off, and it was like 2 or 3 days later after getting home, I was like, dude, are they gonna like text me with updates? I was a little nervous, but yeah, dude, he sent me pictures of it out. He told me what the problem was. Turns out it was not the rod bearings. I did not spin a rod bearing. I freaking snapped a camshaft, which I did say in the last video, but I snapped a camshaft. It damaged one of the heads. So he replaced the camshaft with donor engine stuff used, replaced the head, cleaned the whole thing, made sure everything was good, fit perfectly. He includes new piston rings, new bearings, new seals, and new gaskets. So it's like fresh. And then he put in ACL race rod bearings. And then it was about 2 to 3 weeks later, he sends me a video. He's like, it's alive, it's back in the car, it was running. I was like, bro, freaking go, dude. So then me, my dad, my girlfriend, drove out to California, picked it up, got to meet Kirk himself. And he rebuilds everything. He says the most common is the N55, which is crazy, in the N20s. I guess that was a rough time for BMW, but he was like, while I was there, they were building like a forged S65. He says, I mean, they did get tons of engines, and 10K was an incredible price, and he did it really well. I mean, when I did get back, I will say, I drove all the way back. I did an oil change at 500 miles, and like the day right after I got back from driving home from picking it up from Bavaria over there in California, I got a low oil pressure warning, and I was like, bro, you've gotta be kidding me. What was nice with Bavaria and Kirk in California, 10K for the whole thing and a 1-year unlimited mile warranty. So if anything happens between now and like November-ish, I'm set, okay? I've been in contact with him ever since. When I got back, it was the next day. I got a low oil pressure warning light, pulled over, was freaking out, didn't know what to do. I towed it over to my favorite shop here in Utah. They changed the oil for me, but they couldn't figure out anything that was wrong. And they said that it wasn't running any codes. Nothing against them, they didn't really help out. Not only did I get a low oil pressure warning, but I also was leaking oil everywhere. Like every time I parked, it was just like a puddle. And I was like, dang, bro. So that sucked. On my own inspection, I saw that it was leaking around the oil filter. Wasn't the oil filter. Turns out it's the oil pressure switch, which is exactly what Kirk at Bavaria said. He told me, he's like, well, it might be the oil pressure switch. Even though it doesn't have a code popping up, like could still be the oil pressure switch. Anyways, I ordered a new part, the oil pressure switch. And as we went to take it off, it was like basically hand tight. And I did test that, okay? All right, in my defense. But it was basically hand tight. Like we just popped it off and we're like, oh crap, it wasn't even tight. Anyways, replaced that. No more low oil pressure warning, no more oil leak. That fixed everything. And it has been running freaking smooth ever since. I've had it back now, maybe a month and a half, which is longer than I had it when I first bought it. Because I bought it in September 2022. A month later, as you know from the first M6 is back video, it was blown. So now I have race rod bearings. It's running smooth. Some things that like I have committed to do to make sure that I do not have this happen to me again. Number one, always let it warm up. Especially just in the morning when you first get in, just like let the engine idle for a little bit. Not too long, I mean, you don't have to go crazy, but just let it get going. Don't take off right off the bat. And then also, I do not let it go over like 3,000 RPMs or even like 2,500 RPMs until at least it starts creeping up past the 160 mark, you know, on the little like oil temperature gauge. And then I don't like hit it until it's fully warmed up. And then also let it cool down once I stop. If I drove it hard, I'll stop and then I'll just let it idle for a second and then I'll turn it off. I'm gonna do like basically less than 3,000 mile oil changes. I'm gonna use 5W40 from Liquid Moly. Also, I think that the camshaft probably snapped because of lugging, essentially like smashing the gas at high gears. So it's like low RPM, high gear, trying to put a lot of power through that. I think that's what kind of messes up the camshafts. So if you're gonna go fast, make sure to downshift. Guys, the plan for this thing is pretty crazy. I mean, we really wanna keep this in the Motor Kings collection for a long time. Also, we wanna do like GT3 type stuff to it because BMW had a GT3 M6. So if we can make like a replica or something with this one day, definitely taking out the rear seats, definitely doing a roll cage, definitely big turbos built engine one day. So this thing's gonna be insane. But for now, you know, it's just gonna be like half daily until I get something else. Oh, frick, dude, we got a white M2 in here too? Jeez, we got a blue M2 in here, G87, and a white M2, G87. Kind of cringe though, because whenever you see him, I'm driving an M6, he's driving an M2, and they're just like looking straight. I'm like, are you even part of the M squad, dude? Guys, previous owner curb rash these wheels. It's not me, I promise. It's like pretty freaking bad, dude. But probably gonna do budget freaking tires. Like we're talking about like 150 for a pair or something crazy like that for the stock wheels, because I'm gonna upgrade the wheels one day. Don't want to spend $1,700 on Michelin's or something. If I'm just gonna swap out the wheels for different sizes. So we're gonna make a video about that. So make sure to stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. On this channel alone, we have the 1-100 M6. We've got a Euro spec, imported from Japan, E36 M3, with the S50B32 and a 6-speed. It's got over 300 horsepower. Stock, OEM, okay. We also have a 135 IS, 2013, dual clutch, black. It's dope. We also have a B18C GSR swap we were doing, okay, out of a sedan Integra. Then we were going to put in one of the following, EK hatch, EG hatch, or CRX. We're kind of leaning towards EG hatch because I want to import a CRX SIR, and Luke wants to import a Civic hatch Type R, which is an EK. We got a lot of things coming, so subscribe, okay, and also like and comment.